So, welcome back to the Kids to Love podcast. And this week we wanted to have more of a Kids to Love conversation. So, for those of you who don't know my guest today, she's no guest, she's family. This is Julie Reyburn, and she's been with me, I'd say, on the team, other than Jeff, longer than anybody. We go back, we actually met in the newsroom at Channel 48, way back in the day.
Yes, 2001. And I've been with Kids to Love for 18 years now. So it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. So, affectionately, our nickname for Julie is she's my Jiminy Cricket. She's the one that when I say, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," she's like, So calm to my storm, yin to my yang. But just one of my closest friends and love her dearly. And so we were talking in a team meeting last week about Christmas. That's the season that we're in. And Julie and I, since we are the only two OG members, literally, we were talking about just the years of doing Christmas and the challenges that we overcame. Places with no heat, days with no sleep, wish list with no gifts.
Yes, that was number one on my list, was
Yeah.
filling wish list with no gifts and no donations. Very little at the time.
Yeah. So, we've been doing Christmas for right at 20 years. And we started small. Now we do North Alabama, Southern Tennessee, even dip into Mississippi. So we've been able to grow geographically. But at the time, we really were focused hyper-focused on the Tennessee Valley and weren't able to do all of the counties at the beginning. Kind of give a little insight of when we first started this, why you didn't run.
I had nowhere to run to unless it was back to
She
television,
did.
and it was not that bad. No. Well, truly, even before I came on board as a team member, my husband and I supported Christmas for the Kids by sponsoring wish lists. And I remember the first couple of years we did that. We took one boy and one girl and dropped it at the warehouse that was donated at the time in downtown Huntsville. And just the bustle of it was just incredible because you were still in television. So I'm sure you had just walked off the set and gotten down there when I said, hey, can we bring these bags by? I probably brought them by on my lunch break from the television station. And it was just incredible to see the people dropping off at that point. And to look at it now, you realize that was not a bustle. We are really bustling now. But even before I was officially on the team, I could see the importance and the value of what we were doing for kids in foster care for Christmas.
So now we are very grateful to have our own space. Lewis and Patty Breland gave us the building that's now the Kids to Love Center. We got that in 2015, so we just finished our 10th year of doing Christmas in our new home, and to have a home. But 10 years before that, we did Christmas without a dedicated home. We had a lot of generous people in the community that would give us space, and we are so thankful for that. But with the giving of the space, also it was very much a transient nature of Christmas. So it was getting a new space, going in. I remember we wouldn't even put shelving up till the 1st of November because, like you said, we were working other jobs. We both had young children. So our schedules and our time were limited, but the need was great. And I remember just, looking for shelving, and with each new space that was given, it was a different shape. We had great shelving that was finally given when we finally got shelving, although at the very beginning, we would do it on those old desks that came out of offices out on the Arsenal.
And I was going to joke and say, you're talking about shelving. You have fast forwarded 5 years into my tenure
right.
because we didn't have shelving to begin with.
Right.
We had old office desks in that original space that was donated, just sort of lining the walls. And this desk was Barbies, and this desk was Hot Wheels, and this desk was board games. And we didn't have a lot of that stuff. I remember, I don't know if it was my first year or my second year, we received a donation of Hot Wheels type cars from the Disney movie cars. And it was almost like Christmas for us because we had Lightning McQueen and we had Tow Mater. And these were things our kids wanted, but we didn't even have that kind of donations at the time. We really relied heavily on the sponsored wish list and the community taking individual children to sponsor because we didn't have a lot of inventory to fill the ones that were not sponsored by a family.
And I remember we joke now, and we don't say anything to be disrespectful. We're just kind of sarcastic. I'm very sarcastic. So we kind of joke about sort of, but not really, the PTSD of it. I mean, early on there was multiple places with no heat. I remember we had to shut volunteer days down several years over the past 20, like for inclement weather, and people couldn't get there. We would literally go days without sleep, working around the clock in that warehouse trying to meet deadlines. I'm glad we were younger then. That kind of has aged us a little bit, but I don't know that 2025 Lee could hang with
No,
2005 Lee.
I'm sure we could not. And when we got this space, we upgraded to kinder mats and cots in your office because we could at least lay down. And we had a bathroom in this space where we could shower because we didn't get to go home to shower because we were here around the clock making sure the wish lists were filled. And it was me and Lee and a couple of volunteers who'd been with us for a while. We slowly started adding team members one at a time. But even then, it was around the clock and praying for loaves and fishes.
That's so many
and
times.
extend it and just make this work because we have teenage boys. A county would say, we have teenage boys. What do you have? And it was a watch, a wallet, and a football. And that's really all we had at the time. And it was given with a spirit of love and generosity. But to see how much it's grown now, and when we have teenage boys now, we can give a Nike hoodie and a pair of Nike shoes and some wireless earbuds, and that's all from the hard work of our team and getting the word out, but also from our community just being so generous and giving us those donations. I'll never forget, and when I give tours, this is the story that I always tell, and even 18 years later, it makes me tear up. My husband and I had brought our two kids in, so we were done. And as I was flipping through the binder of kids who had not been taken, there was a little 12-year-old girl, and I don't remember her name, but her wish list, her Christmas wish list was a volleyball, a zip-up 3-ring binder, some Lip Smacker brand lip gloss, and a beanbag pillow. And I remember calling my husband and saying, we're taking this girl too, because there's absolutely no reason she should not get exactly what is on her Christmas wish list. And now when I give tours, I say to people, these are the things that we pick up for our kids at Walmart on a Saturday. My daughter say, oh, there's a new lip gloss my friend had. We'll throw it in the cart.
Right.
And that's what this little 12-year-old girl wanted for her Christmas list. The simplicity of it just really moved me. And 18 years later, I still think about that. And that's the spirit that I try to carry and tell people. Most of the time, they're not asking for a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about, I remember there was 1 year, like you were saying, we really, leaned on those sponsored lists, and I had a donor. It was pickup day, and there was one sponsored list that hadn't been turned in. And so at the last minute, legit an hour before they picked up, we refill it with what we have, and we hated it because it wasn't exactly what she wanted. We got as close as we could. So we take care of that child. That Christmas goes out the door, and the sponsor comes in, and she said, I am so sorry. I have been sick in the bed with the flu for a week. And then I felt bad because I was kind of like, oh my gosh, how can you take the list of a child and not turn it back in? And then I was like, okay, convicted, instantly convicted. And so I just said, thank you. I'm so sorry. Thank you for not bringing the flu down here, because we couldn't have afforded that either. Yeah. We couldn't afford anything back then. But it was a 6-year-old little girl, and I remember I just said, hey, just set the bag here. So then Martha McClendon, a worker at Marshall County that we worked with for years, when workers come in, and we still do it to this day, we say, have you had any other children come into care since you've sent us the list? And the majority of these counties are like, oh my gosh, we just picked up 2 kids last night, or we're going to pick up 3 more today, because it's kids are constantly coming into foster care, and it seems like the holidays are an influx, unfortunately. And so I remember Martha McGlendon came in, and I just said, have you picked up any new kids? And honestly, we're all going, please say no, because we don't have much left. But we were loaves and fishes going to do what we could. And she said, yes. She said, oh my gosh, just last night our team picked up a 6-year-old little girl. And I just lost it. I mean, the frozen fingers, the exhaustion of not being home in days, no sleep. And I just said, is she a traditional size 6? Because, a lot of times we see children that are not at normal age rate, not at normal age weight because of maybe abuse and neglect, and that's why they're pulled in, or children that are left unattended. And I mean, we had one child that was severely obese one year for their age. And the worker said that was why that child was pulled in. And she said, yeah, she's a normal 6-year-old. And I'm crying. And I'm like, well, what is she like? And she said, oh, she's just real girly. And I opened that bag that sponsor had dropped off, and it was pink and girly and everything. I mean, and I just took the bag and handed it to Martha, and I said, Merry Christmas, So that was, I don't know, I call them God winks. I feel like that along the way, God would give us God winks to say, I've called you to serve the least of these, and I'm going to provide, and we many times don't know how. But on that day, it was just like he knew that I needed that to say, Lee, if you just continue to just do what I've asked you to do and get out of my way, it's so much bigger than you. It is so, and that's what, and I get frustrated when we have people that don't want to work with us, and we find workarounds. That's going to have to be a podcast for another time. We can't tell you our backdoor secrets today. But let's just say I believe in creating an underground network, because there is no child in our community that is going to go without Christmas if they are in foster care.
That's right.
Period.
And I love those stories, those Christmas miracles, working with people who want to work with us, or if we have to work against things. But there was another story that stands out, a couple actually, but one was we usually have teenage lists that aren't sponsored. Those are the hard, and we understand, because they are the more expensive requests or the more specific requests. And so what we do is we take those, and years ago we would go shop them. We would be at Walmart at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, trying to fill, and we would go to Walmart because you could get the clothes, the gift items, and different things, all sort of one-stop shopping. But there were a couple, I don't know, maybe 100 or so lists that we were trying to shop with donations that had come to the warehouse. And our team member, Carrie, had one of the young men, and he was a very large size shoe, like I think a size 13 shoe or a Nike shoe. There was something specific about what he was asking for. And as our team was unloading some donations that had just come in, someone called out, does anybody need something Nike shoe? And Carrie was way on the other side of that, and she said, I do. And so, but I think that was her first experience of, this really happens this way.
Yeah.
And I think he wanted books, and a Kindle had come in. So it's really neat to see those moments. And for me personally, I have 2 daughters that have grown up in Kids to Love. I have pictures of, I think it's my youngest, in a car seat in a shopping cart at the downtown warehouse, and I'm trying to shelve toys with her in the shopping cart. But she came with me one year to shop lists, and there was a little girl who loved Paw Patrol. And so Lily was getting the Paw Patrol toys off the shelves, and she came running up to me and says, Mommy, look. And she had found a pair of shoes in that little girl's size that were Paw Patrol. And so to see your own child understand the miracle, and it doesn't seem like a miracle. For some people, it seems like a coincidence. But when you have the battle scars that Lee and I have from Christmas, we know what the Christmas miracles look like.
Right.
But to see her understand and get it and be so excited to give that little girl something special for Christmas, that's really what we're all about too. It's teaching our families and seeing that happen to our volunteers. It's really encouraging.
Yeah, we kind of joke that, the best volunteers we have, we'll just raise them,
That's
And
right.
Kelly on our team, she had pictures of Harper in when she was little, and then Harper's in this year. So, I mean, it truly is it's a family affair. It has to be. I mean, gosh, I remember there was one year that Emma, I think she was maybe in second grade. And of course, we're here all night long working, and I make her a little pallet in the corner of where there's now a bathroom in the child placing agency. There wasn't then. And I make her a little pallet because she was just so exhausted. I make her a little pallet and I put it down. And Jeff goes, Lee, I need to take her home. She's got school tomorrow. I'm like, she's not going to school tomorrow. We're in the middle of Christmas. Like this, it is all hands on deck, because I mean, she took a nap and she got up and she just kept, filling Christmas wish lists because I kept saying, Daddy will take you home if you want to. And, for years, I remember my parents would come down and my mom would keep the girls when they were little. And my dad would be here working Christmas. So it's always it's hard to do it without him because I know the joy that he loved. But I think one of the funniest things, well, there's been a lot, but like I said, it's PTSD and we've suppressed it. But I remember one year, it was the morning of pickup, and it was the year before we got to move here. And I'd be out in the community doing things, and people would just, hand me money or they'd hand me gift cards. And I had a pocket in my purse, and I would just, like, that was kind of like the kids to love pocket, And so I'm like, I just kept, just like a kangaroo, just kept putting it in my pocket. And so we had all these teen lists that we weren't filled. And I said, oh, hold on. I said, somebody gave me some money the other day for this. And I just started pulling it out. It was crazy. And then we were just, it was like the magic bag. It just kept, I was like, okay, I don't remember people giving me this much money. But it ended up being several thousands of dollars. And we sent a volunteer and they got gift cards for our teenagers. And it was just
that loads
insane.
Of again. It was a cool moment. And we laugh about it now. We're like, what else have you got in that bag,
Yes,
in that purse? But that's the spirit of our community. They see you out and they want to help. And what do you need? And they're so generous to give us what we need.
I think a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, if I give and this child has this wish, they won't get it. I mean, and we had just some, I would say, more miracles this year of, kids wanting lists. And like we had a situation of one child wanted an Auburn jersey. We had a donor give a Bo Jackson jersey, and we posted that. And then I had another friend text me, and she's like, Lee, you can't give that child that Bo Jackson. Do you know how much that's worth? Like can I drop off another Auburn jersey? I'm like, sure, more the merrier, But it truly is a testament to it's organized chaos. There is such a system we have. We have a database. When wish list comes in, they go in the database. I mean, there's thousands of spreadsheets. There's thousands of hours of inputting it. Each child has a unique number and code. And I tell people that within 10 minutes, we can put our hands on that child's list in our system, which then people come in and they look around and they're like, there's no way.
How? And that Auburn jersey that you're talking about, I want to share too, just in case they see this podcast, that was a family that took a bunch of ornaments. And I remember the gentleman who dropped off at the RV at Bridge Street, and he just kept unloading all these gifts out of his van. I said, are you with the company? And he said, no, this is my family, and this is what we want to do for Christmas.
I love that.
Which was amazing. And so to your point of we can put our hands on something in 10 minutes, I went back to the RV, and because I didn't want that jersey getting lost in the shuffle or separated from the ornament that was attached to it. And so I took it inside, and I took a picture and posted it to our group chat. And Kelly on our team, within seconds, had found him in the database, and this is the kid, and here's the wish list, and here's the ornament, and that's the picture that we shared. So when people say, what I buy, does it get to that child? 100%. We can tell you that child gets the gift that you're purchasing for them. Yeah. So those moments never get old. Even after 18 years, those moments never get old.
It just refuels. It really does. I don't know. I kind of feel like there's so many things we can't share with the public because it's just, we have had some unusual requests throughout the years that we couldn't fill, mainly because some of them would be illegal.
Won't fit in the bag.
Yeah, won't fit in the bag. Well, Well, she might, but she'd go kicking and screaming. I'll just say that. And again, that would be illegal. So it has brought us a lot of joy throughout the years to kind of, I mean, it's kind of like, oh, wow, you really answered this on your Christmas wish list.
Really can't give a samurai sword. If we can't give a samurai sword to a foster child. It
We
can't
look
be
at
done.
that as a weapon.
Yeah, and not because it can't be afforded or a donor wouldn't give it. Because I'm sure there are donors who would say,
Yeah.
I'll give you a samurai sword, but safety first.
But the other thing that is just really goes back to the heart of it, and we see this every year over and over, are kids that just ask to go home, to be with their mom and dad, just the simplicity of. I had a lady recently that, and she thought she was being funny. I found no humor in it. She said, "Oh my gosh, as much stuff as these kids get for Christmas, I should put my child in foster care." And she thought she was hilarious. The look on my face was like, really? If you knew the hell that our kids live through to just get pulled to the safety of foster care.
Right.
And we've got some amazing families. There's bad apples in every bunch. So, I mean, not every foster journey is a good one. I mean, that's one reason why we work so hard in other areas to make that a good journey. But I just thought, no, the value that we place on family. I think if anything, it reiterates the importance of that among our team that we see every year.
And one thing our team has learned is, or learned to say, I should say, is why shouldn't kids in foster care have what your child has?
Exactly.
Why shouldn't they ask for AirPods or a Nike hoodie? Now, Lee and I have often said, we tell our children no sometimes.
That's right.
And sometimes we have to tell our foster children no, that we can't provide that, but they don't deserve less than because they're in foster care.
Exactly.
They shouldn't be restricted to asking for socks and underwear because they're in foster care. And sometimes that's a hard message to sell, but for the most part, our donors understand and they get them as best they can what's on their list. So, yeah.
It's so good. Well, now you know why I love her. And I just so appreciate you and just, the good years, the lean years, the ebb and the flow. I don't know. I feel like you're definitely one of the constants, and I love and value you so much. And I don't know if I say thank you enough, but thank you.
Well, thank you for letting me be a part of it. One thing Lee does real well for our team is she understands we have families too. And so I appreciate getting to serve and minister to families while also being present with mine. But Christmas has always been my favorite. After 18 years, we do a lot of programs. We do a lot of things. There are a lot of great stories that we could share, maybe another podcast. But Christmas is just one of my favorites because it's so just uplifting and warm, and to see the kids and to know that when I'm watching my kids' faces on Christmas morning, these kids are getting to experience that too. And I'm going to start crying, so I'm going to stop here.
I know. Well, and we just have such a network in foster families, and I love Christmas morning because like you said, and especially Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year too. But when my girls were little and they'd be opening their presents, and then it's like I'd get a text message from a foster parent, or I'd get a message on Facebook. Can't share this publicly, but I just wanted to say thank you. Right. And so a lot of people. They don't support with us because they want to go personally deliver that and do that. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's like we're called to serve, and a lot of times that's behind the scenes. So to me, the gifts that we give, that we work with case managers, we work directly with foster families, we work directly with Santa. We would tell people we're a North Alabama hub of the North Pole because, he's got to refuel, reload the sleigh.
That's right.
And our warehouse is a pit stop in that journey.
That's right.
But to know that our kids for at least one day of the year feel included and not less than, it matters.
It matters. And I'll say this one more thing. Last week, I don't do on camera a lot. When Lee and I worked in television, I was behind the scenes. So this is a testament of my love for her that I agreed to sit down on camera and shoot a podcast. But
Not that she couldn't, she just doesn't.
I could, just like last week when I was recruited to give an interview to a local television station, and that reporter said to me, and I thought this was so intuitive of him, he said, "You're not just giving gifts, you're really creating some core memories for these kids." And it reminded me of a conversation with a social worker about 2 years ago. It was pickup day, and as we were loading gifts for this county, her name's Callie, and she said to me there was a young lady that was in foster care, and she had since aged out, gotten married, had her own family, and was doing well. But she said that black bag Christmas from Kids to Love was the best Christmas I've ever had.
Aww.
And that black bag she's referring to, it's not ideal, but it's very efficient. It is the black garbage bag with a piece of duct tape that has the child's name, the code Lee mentioned, all of that is on it. But to know that she's probably 8 to 10 years removed from that black bag Christmas, and it's still the best one she's had, I thought that reporter nailed it. We're not just giving Christmas gifts, we're creating core memories for these children.
Absolutely.
And memories they'll carry with them their whole life. And so who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
Yeah, yeah. So good. Yeah, we could talk forever, but the day that we're shooting it, we actually have got to head to a K-Tech graduation where we're celebrating 10 years of that, so another milestone. We just wanted to say thank you for everybody that has been part of Christmas. There's so many families that you make supporting our kids at Christmas part of your family tradition, and we appreciate that. And I would be remiss to say, if you've not given to us this year, what are you waiting on? Kidstolove.org for those end-of-year gifts. Because, we're having kids, we'll have kids come into care up until the 24th. I mean, it's not unusual that we're here the day before Christmas, making sure that it happens. And if they call and need it, then we'll respond. So, Julie, thank you. Love you, mean
Always.
it.
Love you too.
Thanks for tuning in to this podcast, our little Kids to Love Christmas conversation, a little behind the scenes. Follow us along, and we appreciate you being part of our journey. And thanks for helping us take care of so many kids.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.